Alright, we're back, and I got feedback from KJ yesterday about what he's thinking. I sent him my current system yesterday, what I had been working on, and he gave me some feedback because I asked him, okay man, do you have any ideas of what I could add here or what I should do here? You know, what else I can do here? And he gave me some insights. Basically, he wants a content repurposing skill inside of Claude that we can definitely do. I was planning on doing that anyway, but yeah. Basically, he wants to write YouTube scripts himself, and then he wants a Claude skill that can repurpose YouTube scripts, identify good angles, and then write a newsletter, like an email for that YouTube script. Just repurposing one piece of copy into multiple different pieces of copy, basically. So that's what we're working on. But what I'm doing right now is creating a voice mapper, which is like the brand voice analyzer, which I already have, but it is not perfectly designed. So it works, actually, it works pretty good, but we can do better, you know, like especially because KJ wants something that is iterative. So he wants something that gets better over time, that we can give feedback. Like he wants an email writer skill, for example, that we can give, not the email writer skill, but in this case the brand voice. Like we want to make it better over time, so we will obviously write emails, send emails, then track the data, track the metrics, and then give feedback to Claude. Okay, this performed well, this didn't perform well, and then make updates to our Claude skills so it writes us more good emails down the line. So that's kind of the idea. So we're just gonna track what does good, what does bad. Yeah, let's do it. I also tried Whisper Flow actually again today. So I've been using Super Whisper for a little bit now. Both for dictation softwares, and both, well, there are pros and cons to both. The thing about Whisper Flow is it is ridiculously fast. Like you transcribe, like you speak something into the microphone and it transcribes it instantly when you give it back. Super Whisper takes a couple of seconds to give you the output, which is a little annoying, but it's still very good. But the thing about Super Whisper is it costs half the price. It's like $8 a month. This is $15 a month, so that's something worth considering, you know. And well, so you know, also Whisper Flow is a little sketchy in regards to data security and stuff like that, which I don't care about. You can have my transcripts. I don't care. Like I don't care about that, but yeah. I just like the speed. Like that would literally be the only reason to pick Whisper Flow, is just how fast it is. Other than that, I think Super Whisper is just a better choice. You know, it is a better choice. It's cheaper, more data security. All your data gets stored locally. You can delete it, or you know, do with it what you will and stuff. It has a lot of, you know, advantages. But just the speed alone is just so nice. I really like the speed, man. The brand voice context issue is later for voice replication, written vocabulary, return. Enough collapse. Copywriting needs IPs. Where does this live? Voice map includes ICP sections, pro everything in one place. Separate files, ICP profile, pro cleaner, separation can update without touching voice. Multiple files to manage. Voice map extracts, voice reference. ICP. Should include why. Yeah. Now the question is, and that's what I've been struggling with for a long time. You will see how fast this is now. Scratch that last sentence. Yeah, the thing is, how much information does this profile need to write really good emails. Like how much ICP intelligence does it need? What are the what are the things that it really has to know to write really good really good copy? And same for the brand itself. Like how much information does it need about the brand, the offers, credentials, and stuff like that to, well, to have really good output? Because I think there should be quite a bit of detail in there, you know? Like, you know, it should have information about, like you can see how, I mean, you don't, like I gave you a 300 word goddamn document, but basically look at the brand voice profile of Paul Daly. I packed a lot of information in there about his business and about his ICP, you know, and about his brand voice. So we gotta figure out what stays and what goes, or if everything stays and stuff like that. Like, you know, give me your assessment. What do we need to write really good copy? You know, what kind of stuff from each, from the brand, from the ICP, and from the the voice. We already discussed the voice. Look at this. Boom, there it is. You know, with Super Whisper it takes like, I'm gonna say like 5 to 10 seconds, which sounds stupid, like, but it really does make a difference in my eyes. You know, I really get a little bit annoyed when I have to wait just 5 to 10 seconds, man. But is that worth the twice the price and the lack of data security? Probably not. I'm seriously considering switching though, just because of the speed. It's stupid, but I don't know. We'll see. I can just let my Super Whisper subscription end, which goes like on for 2 more weeks, and then I can unsubscribe there, test Super Whisper Flow for a month, and then, well, decide. Probably should have done that in the other order. Actually, I can still do that. I just create a new account here because I'm in the 14-day free trial, and I used it for 1 day. Then I discovered Super Whisper, went to Super Whisper, and now my trial ran out. You know. And I knew that. I was like, yeah, I still have the trial here. Maybe I should use it for that amount. But I really liked Super Whisper, so I immediately switched. But now I went back here and I'm like, yeah, but I really like this though. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll still give it a shot. I'll just create a new account, get a free trial again, and that's that. You know, brand voice context. Let me see. What you don't need: demographic details, age, rally matters, psychographic deep dives, interesting but not actionable, detailed day in the life and less. Completed rejection list. Enough market size statistics. Yeah, I think for objection list we should. Do you think top 3 is enough, or should we go for top 5? Top 5 desires, top 5 objections. You know, what do you think about that? Look how fast this is. Did I zoom out? Oh yeah, I did. All right. Here's why. You're writing copy, don't reference top 5. Pick the most relevant for the copy and do it around the main pain point with email. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't talking about for one email, but in general, if we want to come in from different angles, maybe we should have information on 5 pain points and not 3. Or do you really think top 3 is the best way to go? And yes, top 3 is way more focused, but top 5 gives you more variety. I don't know what is better, honestly. This is so fast. I really enjoy it. Angle variety. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, sounds good. Are we ready to execute? Or what is the plan? I've lost track of what we're of all the changes that we want to make, man. Now we're way below the context window, we're not even remotely close. You know, run voice mapper. Quick fix, 5 minutes. Step 2, expected output. Let's do a switch actually. This might hurt the context window a little bit, but we'll try this. Hey man, instead of going for a KJ context profile with Paul Daly's ICP, and to avoid confusion, let's just go with Paul Daly alone. So I gave you his brand voice report. Now I'm gonna give you some YouTube scripts. I actually probably destroyed the context window already because a market research report that I loaded was like 300 pages. God damn it. Oh, you missed that one. Alright. What does that mean, by the way? When Claude says compacting our conversation so we can keep chatting, what does that mean exactly, man? Oh, nice formatting. How does he know that again? Fucking hell, Claude. Did I turn on memories from other conversations? Alright, so I already reached the context window, but they have a counter for that at the moment, luckily. Alright, let's go, man. Roughly 70k words across all documents. Let me isolate the YouTube transcripts. Interesting. Please make it a general rule to never, ever, ever use M dashes. I hate them. Everybody hates them. They're a dead giveaway that AI was used. So please remove M dashes permanently. All right. I like this quite a bit. What he's doing here. Yeah, but that's kind of what I'm doing today. I'm just building more skills, more Claude skills to make this process as easy as possible for me, you know, as quick as possible. Like the copywriting process, not just for KJ, but also for me, because I want to reach out to more clients. But first, I want to really build this whole system out so that I can just deliver high quality copy immediately, you know, and that I can take on more clients, and if someone needs something, I can get it done really, really fast, you know. That's kind of what I want to do here. And Claude Skills is the platform to do it, because there's nothing better than Claude Skills right now in regards to writing. And you know, Claude Skills is just so good. I keep glazing it, and I should, because it's just so good, man. But I really like what he's doing here right now. The categories that he's doing, like this, all seems like this could be very actionable. And yeah, the other brand was profile was blown out of proportion. It worked pretty good, but I figured there's a better way to do it. We'll see if this actually works better at the end of the day, you know. You're actually gonna put a full thing in here, and I'll take the examples. Full copy. Alright. Oh yeah, I only gave him really good performing copy actually. By the way, would you recommend to also have copy that didn't perform well in there to see what to avoid? Probably not, right? We should only focus on what works to avoid bloating it out of proportions. And that could also cause confusion, honestly. I don't know, man. What's your take? It's so fast. I love it. Also, would Claude be smart enough? I assume it would be, to just go into my Notion database and just extract the high performing stuff, you know? Because right now I gave you the best performing YouTube scripts that Paul had. Could I trust Claude to just tell it, hey man, like, check out, we could do that, you know, I put all of the information in the Notion databases, and then once a week I could tell Claude, check out the Notion databases and check out this week's emails and see what worked and what didn't and make updates. Could we do that, man? Could we just, I think we could. What do you think? I like that he's putting everything into one file actually. You know? I like that we have everything in just one brandless profile. I just hope Claude doesn't get confused, but I don't think it will. If we have proper mapping and routing and stuff like that, should be fine. Stuck for the ceiling, I'm the bottleneck, I'm working harder than not smarter. Can't scale this, everything is on fire. Maybe I should record my workflow inside of Claude Skills. I don't know, I really want to make a tutorial on this sort of stuff, but I also feel like I'm too inexperienced. You know? Like, all I'm doing is, most of this stuff is still improvisation. I mean, I know a few things for a fact about Claude Skills at this point, you know? Like, You know, the YAML header, like that it works best with concise information, not too much information, like Claude skills. I know a little bit about Claude skills. I've got some experience now. You know, I've been doing a lot with it over the past week. So I've learned a little bit, but I'm far from an expert. Well, the thing about me is I have a very good thought process about AI and stuff like that. I just have a good way of figuring things out, to figuring out solutions to problems, especially with computer stuff. You know, I just have a good way of thinking about it. So that's really what I would like to teach people, but I don't know how, man. That's something that just is in my brain. This is not too long at all, actually. This doesn't. Yeah, it's not too bad. I like this. All right. All right. Jesus. My throat. Alright, brand will copy question. My take, no, don't include low performing copy. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think that's stupid. Problem with anti-examples gets confused about what to replicate. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's dumb. You create conflicting patterns, good copy, money, create conflicting. Yeah, voice profiles below for benefit, negative examples don't transfer well. It does work, just show winners example why they won. This teaches Claude, Notion, auto update could. Absolutely, yes, this is how this would work. Requires databases weekly. Reads current voice profile, analyzes high performance. This look like in practice. Smart part. Actually do the pattern analysis automatically, exactly. I'm a genius, dude, see? I'm a fucking genius. Oh man, I'm too smart, dude. Oh, let me look at this again. In Notion, performance databases, threshold definitions, content storage, invoice. The weekly workflow, you 5 minutes, mark winners in Notion, message Claude. All patterns, performing content, you review updates, and just brilliant, absolutely doable. Yes, sounds good to me. Voice mapper skill. Yeah, definitely. So the voice mapper skill should be designed, I mean, as an option, for example, because not for every, you know, it should just work without Notion support, you know, but it should have the ability to go into Notion and extract information. Because I still want this voice mapper to be generalized, because I will also be using it for my own clients, not just for KJ. Because KJ, I'm helping him out, but this is also going to be a skill that I'm going to use personally on other clients. And I probably won't have a lot of information about them initially. So I also basically want this skill to work without live updates. Alright, I wanted to give just, okay, these were the top 10 high performing emails of the last 6 months. Just work off of those, you know. I want that to be the case. So live updating should definitely be included, and that's what we're aiming for, but it should also work without it, you know what I mean? So let's implement it in that sort of way. I don't think it would change anything like that, you know. It should just have the ability to easily, it shouldn't compromise the ability to live update, you know. What I just said shouldn't make this any worse, like the ability to live update, but I still want it to work without updates, you know. That's what I mean. Look at how fast it's gonna do this right now. Bam. All here. It's amazing. I love it. This is so good. Potential issues, sample size, one viral video doesn't mean the pattern is repeatable. Solution only update after pattern appears 2 or 3 times. And yeah, regarding your potential issues, yeah, that's why I would only update. I mean, you should be able to just live update, oh, this performed well, but yeah, I agree. I think we should have more samples to update something. And yeah, that's why I was going for the weekly update. We could also go for the bi-weekly updates, where every 2 weeks we make an update, you know, and check out Notion databases and stuff like that. But how would you integrate live updates? Like, how would the, because okay, how would this work? Because right now we're building the voice mapper, and the voice mapper creates a brand voice profile that is a standalone file. So as you know, like the brand voice analyzer created Paul Daly's brand voice profile, but what would need the updates then would be Paul Daly's brand voice profile. You know, that's where we would need to add these high performing emails and stuff like that, not the voice mapper itself. You know what I mean? These are two separate skills. The voice mapper builds the brand voice profile, but the brand voice profile itself is what needs to be updated over time with more high performing copy. So that means the voice mapper itself should build brand voice profiles that do self-update. That's a lot, but Claude can easily handle this. Jesus, it's a lot of information. That's just a brainstorming phase. Claude and I go back and forth, you know, we bounce ideas off of each other. That's how it worked, you know. Oh. My back is a little messed up. I don't know why, bro. I just made a wrong move yesterday when I was laying down, and then I don't know, man. And now my back is a little, I don't know, like I hit a nerve or something now that feels a little weird. Oh, but we're gonna be fine. My recommendation, hybrid approach, creates two things. Update instructions. Okay. Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Update log. Let me see wait, let me read through this. Yeah, what do you want? Voice profiles that can self-update static markdown file. Two possible solutions. Has update mode, two modes, create option. Fix existing profile, new sample, updates it. You have to manually trigger updates, can't set it. Yeah, of course, man, like, we want to manually trigger them. Create a skill file, not just a markdown file. Oh yeah, it was gonna be the voice profile. How this works. Yeah, so the voice profiles that we're creating with the voice map, I want those to be skill files, alright? I want them to be skill files, and the thing is, they are skill files, but I can just upload them into an Notion project, into a Claude project, and that would work as well as far as I'm concerned, or we could just quickly transfer it. But yes, I want the output to be a skill file, alright? I want the voice mapper to create the brand voice, Paul Daly's brand voice skill, okay? It should be a skill file. And yeah, we should definitely manually update it. Like we should have to be like, okay, we have to manually tell Claude, or you know, hey, look into the past 2 weeks of the Notion database and just find the high performing emails. And yeah, it shouldn't auto update, because that gives us a lack of control, you know. And at the end, it should have human judgment as well. So we should be able to judge what it should add and what it shouldn't add. Otherwise it could get out, you know, it could just turn into a shit fest. So that's what I would propose. And also I want to have a quick confirmation mechanism in there as well. So what we have with the intake step with other skills, as you can see, is I always have an intake step of like, I give you information, you give information back to me so I can confirm it. I want to do the same thing here. So basically when I tell them, go into Notion, see what performed well last week, but then instead of just implementing it immediately, tell me what you found and wait for my confirmation. Okay, you can add this, alright? I want to be able to look at what Claude is scraping from my Notion database, and it gives me a brief recap or something, gives me an analysis, gives me its own thoughts, and then I can tell it, okay, do it, implement it, or I can make changes. I definitely want to have control over how it updates. All right. Yeah, that's a lot. I just love that there's no like chat limit here anymore, though. You know, that was a real problem in the past. Not a problem here anymore. This is the right approach. I agree, man. It is the right approach. Update log. Yep. The skill file is the voice profile. Exactly. Step 1, you trigger. Yep. Confirmation gate. Found 3 high performing units from the last 2 weeks. Cloud implements reports what the skill file looks like, skill MD structure. When to add immediately, when to flag confirmation analysis. Let me see. Update report. God damn it, this is a long text. I don't know why, but the year's 2025, bro. It's not 2024. You always do that. I don't know why. Doesn't really matter. I don't know, but let's just have the right year, okay? Yeah. So yeah, let's keep the structure right now. I think this is good. Found 3 high performing emails. Ultra short sheet confirms existing curiosity hook pattern. Alright. I'm just thinking if this should be a little longer or if it should be this concise, like with the high performing emails. Like, should this be a longer segment, give me more information, instead of just a super brief breakdown. Email 1, title this, pattern, vocabulary comparison recommendation, you know. Then the next question is, Jesus, my throat. Fucking hell. My God. Chill, bro. High performing emails. Well, how do we determine? Okay, so with the metrics, this email performed well. How do we break down why it performed well? How do we analyze that? Do we just take, like, how do we break this down basically? Like, if we're gonna update the database with good emails, it has to know why these emails performed well or something. Like, it has to know how to emulate this email style or why this email did good. And, you know, we have to learn something from this. You know, we have to break it down, analyze, okay, it performed well, but why? And then implement it or something like that, you know? Or, I don't know, like, what kind of logic do we need here for Claude to actually make the updates effective? You know, that Claude can derive logic from these updates. This is fine. Yeah, I think Claude should go into Notion, analyze it, and then present me its analysis, and then I can basically, well, confirm or deny. Basically, I can just go back and forth with Claude. We can go back and forth, analyze it, and then I can tell Claude, okay, I like it now. I think this is right. I think this is why it worked as well, and then you can upload it. You know, it should be probably a brainstorming process back and forth, like what we're doing right here. You know, I'm brainstorming back and forth with you as well. So that's kind of what should happen here as well for the auto updates, or for the, you know, open rate. What was the email about? Existing patterns, historical performance data, subject line open rate list average. List average open rate 8 cents, and Cloud can then calculate average for 9 Oh yeah, cent, date, cent time. Break down the components. Analytical thinking next level. This is a lot. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me, man. Can you just give me an example output? Let's just make up some random numbers, some random metrics for one of the emails by KJ that I gave you. Alright, let's just play this through. I want to see what this actually looks like. Well, I think I'll just stop the recording. You know, been recording long enough. I'll just upload this to YouTube and that is it. Alright, well, that's it. I'm gonna keep going here. Bye bye.